Where's my microphone at? There it is. I don't know why everybody likes it when I wear this robe. I don't know. It's actually very comfortable. Depending on the weather outside, it's extremely comfortable. It breathes. Yes, I made it myself. It's made out of pure hemp, twill hemp. Everybody keeps asking me where I got it from. It's a store that's not in business anymore. So I'm actually starting off a new series of consecutive videos on books. A couple of these I'd mentioned before. Most of these I have not. And one thing that a lot of people have asked me for, and there's a huge difference between mathematics and arithmetic. None of us were taught that in high school or college, unfortunately. We just weren't. You know, we were taught a bunch of boring. How many of you out there still use algebra or trigonometry? Probably like 1/100th of 1% of you, probably. It's pretty accurate. Anyway, there's a key to actually understanding math in this, the approach of the Pythagoreans and the Platonists, which was not of math itself, but of arithmetic. However, the title of this book is Mathematics. There's a 2-volume set. I actually have both. But volume 1 is the really important one. This is a reprint of a substantially old book. This is Sir Thomas Heath's book of a history of Greek mathematics. Now, the best one of the two is volume 1. Okay, it's a history of Greek mathematics. By the way, all these books, if you look for it, and also too in the prior videos on books, people have left links in the comment sections as to where you could find these books. So you might want to take a look at the comments, but obviously I can't post links to books for various obvious reasons, nor am I going to. Absolutely an incredible book. This is the stuff, I actually have the original copy of volume 1, but it's really worn out and falling apart, but this is the reprint. And it's actually very cheap. You actually want to own the physical copy. For a lot of kids that are out of school right now because of what's going on in the world, if you really want to be able to think clearly and lucidly, especially as it pertains to math and real-world applications, and also to, you know, the premise behind arithmetic and the foundations of mathematics. And I'm not opposed to mathematics. I'm opposed to materialists that actually use math as a type of religion to supplant rational thought, logic, and wisdom, and that's exactly what they do. So it's a history of Greek mathematics, volume 1. This is another great book, and this goes from the Pythagoreans, Aristotelian, Platonic, all the way through to Dante. I've worn the heck out of this one, including early Christianity and the Gnostics. And this is medieval number symbolism. Its sources, meaning, and influence through the expression, on thought and expression, excuse me. I only had a couple hours of sleep last night because I'm so busy all the time. That's by Vincent Foster Hopper, so that's Medieval Number Symbolism. Really, really great book. This will be the last book that I recommend here on this topic of math and arithmetic. Let me put these over your side on my printer. Now this is a really good book. I've worn the heck out of this one and got it highlighted in all sorts of places. This is a mathematical history of the golden number. Yes, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence. This is a really good book with sources and references, and it's actually really cheap. It's only $16.95. It's a reprint, and also too, by the way, the 5 points of the Pythagorean pentad, which spell out Yugata, are tattooed right there on the upper portions of my fingers. Explaining what Yugata actually means. It doesn't mean good health. You know, that's a really, really crude, misappropriated mistranslation of what it actually is in reference to. It's actually talking about harmony and perfection in nature. The Divina Proporzione, by Leonardo da Vinci, well, illustrated by Leonardo da Vinci. Everybody loves to talk about the golden ratio, but they have no idea what the golden ratio is. They'll say, golden ratio. What does it mean? Well, that's beauty and harmony. And like, no, that's a description. That's not an explanation. This is not a full explanation, but it actually This is actually quite important to have. You can also find this online. Someone should probably post a link to it, maybe. Mathematical History, the Golden Number. Really great book. Now, 2 of these I've mentioned before. This one I had not, but it's quite obvious. People say, what do you think about Walter Russell? It's like, you don't realize that I actually digitized Walter Russell's works, right? You don't realize that, apparently. He's written more than a few books. There's only a couple that I recommend, but of those, several, the one that you actually should get is this one. This is The Universal One by Walter Russell. This book is out there all over the place, thanks to me. Yes, thanks to me. So people say, well, what do you think about The Universal One? It's like, well, who do you think, whoops, who do you think digitized The Universal One? I did. Really and truly, I make this statement humorously. I think if you don't actually get this book and read it, then you're a fool. Yes, I said the word fool. Really, I don't know how much you know about Walter Russell, but he actually discovered several elements before they were actually discovered. He actually came up with a new chart of harmonics of the elements that is extremely accurate, and that's how he was able to predict the properties of undiscovered elements before they were discovered, because they actually followed harmonics. And there's a lot of hand-drawn illustrations of Walter Russell's works in here. This is a really, really important... this, by the way, too, was given... an early copy was given to Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla said that this book was brilliant. I think Nikola Tesla's words were that it was so advanced that it should be discovered for future humanity because it was too advanced for current humanity. Something along those lines. So there's a quote from Nikola Tesla on that book. Yeah, you are... a bit of a fool if you don't have that book. I'm going to get my microphone cord caught up on everything. That always irritates me. Here we go. This is by Deirdre Carabine. She moved to Uganda. She's actually an Irish scholar. This book could also be downloaded countless places, thanks to somebody. This is not about God, okay? Just don't let the title confuse you. This is actually about the via negativa and apophaticism of the absolute, or the agathon. This is the unknown God, negative theology, and Platonic tradition, from Plato to John Scotus Erigenes by Deirdre Carabine. Not owning this book is tantamount to a sin. I would say this book is slightly advanced for your metaphysically illiterate folks. Not too bad, though. I got 3 copies of this. 2 of them are worn out. But it's been digitized, and it's really all over the place. For some unknown reason, you could get this book quite a bit. I mean, it's been reprinted now. I think the reason why this was reprinted, and it was so freaking expensive for so long, is because I've been talking about it for years, and all of a sudden, shoot, desire for this book spiked, and they decided to reprint it. So that's thanks to me. Here we go, The Unknown God, but... I think she's in her 70s now, and she moved from Ireland to Uganda because I think she likes the hot weather. In her Facebook page, she's living it up in Uganda, although she complains about the electricity going out all the time. That's because the, Mickey Mouse Power Grid. That's a must-own book. You're not very really. You should read that book. You really, really, really. I put it in top 10 books ever to get. This is also top 5, easily top 10. This is, you see how worn out this copy is? This is Philosophy as a Rite, Rebirth by Aldous Udavinis. That's Uzdavininys. Yeah? Aldous Udavinis. I wished he was still alive. I'd love to talk to him. He's a hulking man, just a brute of a person as far as huge and super tall. And Philosophy as a Rite of Rebirth. This book is unparalleled perfection. Really, I can't imagine not actually owning this book. This can also be found in various places. Some people might help you out in the comments on where you could find it. Wow, what an incredible book. Top 5 easily, books, must read. A lot of people have bought this book off my recommendation because I've been recommending it for years. A lot of people. And you know what the disapproval percentage is on this book? It's 0. It's 0 because the book is that awesome. Homie knows him the good books, where they are and what they are. I spent decades searching out, no holes barred, doing whatever I can, no matter what it cost, to get a hold of it. I've reached out to countless places across the world. Some books have spent an enormous amount of money. I got a hold of the best of the best of the best, and I know what it is, and I don't confuse it for the trash you find in your typical bookstore, which is Western existentialist garbage, Kant, Hume, Nietzsche, Carl Jung, Schopenhauer. Ah! Please, God, don't ever mention Nietzsche to me. Don't ever mention Kant or Hume or Carl Jung. Don't mention those people to me ever, okay? That's not philosophy. It's not metaphysics. You know, that's navel-gazing. What's that passage from the Mad Max movie? It's a really funny Australian slang for a waste of time. It's the sexy short-haired chick. She talks about a waste of time. She calls it, yeah, jerkin time. She calls it jerkin time. In other words, a complete total waste. Oh, I love you Australians. You're so brilliant with your seedy euphemisms. What does she say? Oh, Walker, that's jerkin time. It's a total waste. I don't do that Western existentialist garbage. No, I do not. So anyway, I hope you like this video. Yeah? Just read the comments below. I'm sure people are going to be commenting on these books. These are the ones to get. Thank you so much for watching. Luxe Veritas. And as they say in Russia, увидимся. Настоящие крепкие русские народы. А, ты слышишь? If you're Russian, you liked what I just said. It was like, yeah. Some Russian out there right now is going, молодец. There we go. It's the end of the video.